Hello and welcome to this session. This is Professor Farhat, in which we will keep working with non-cash items that are listed on the income statement. Now, not all expenses reported on the income statement involve an actual cash payment. I also want to mention not all revenue is cash revenue because some of the revenue is credit revenue, but it's very important to understand also the expenses are not all in cash. And that's because we don't use cash basis of accounting, we use accrual. So some expenses would reduce income without reducing the cash flow. And in the prior session, we looked at a depreciation expense as a prime example. Depreciation, amortization, and in this session, we will focus on deferred taxes. What is amortization? Amortization follows the same concept as depreciation, except we are dealing with intangible assets. Intangible assets are assets that lack physical existence. What are tangible assets? Building, equipment, furniture, computers, servers. Intangible assets are assets that don't have physical existence. Like what? Like licenses, franchises, patent, copyrights. Those are intangible assets. What do we do with intangible asset? We amortize them, but it's the same concept as depreciation. Now we have many other non-cash expenses, but in this session I want to focus on income tax expense, something called deferred taxes, because understanding non-cash item is important because accounting profit and cash flow can differ significantly, because from an accounting perspective, the cost of the asset is spread over several years. For example, when we buy a vehicle, we spread the cost over 5 years. From a finance perspective, once we pay the cash, as far as the finance people are concerned, cash left the company. It's an outflow of cash. And for example, here, if we purchased an equipment worth $1,000, well, as far as the finance people, they would say we had an expense or an outflow of $1,000. Depreciation, on the other hand, we say, well, this asset would last us 5 years. 1,000 divided by 5 years is 200 of depreciation expense. And we worked this example in the prior session. In this session, I will focus on deferred taxes, which is related to income tax expense. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, farhatlectures.com. Whether you are taking a finance course or preparing for the CPA, CMA, or CFA exam, finance doesn't have to feel confusing or overwhelming. Most students struggle not because finance is too hard, but because concepts build on each other. Formulas change with one assumption, and classes often move way too fast to keep up. At Farhat Lectures, we slow the process down. We explain the intuition behind the numbers, why formulas work, what each variable means, and how everything connects to real decision. When the logic becomes clear, finance becomes simple and manageable. You stop memorizing and you start truly understanding. Ready for finance to finally click? Start your free trial at farhatlectures.com. So deferred taxes is another important non-cash item. So deferred taxes arise when and why? Here's what you need to know. We have two sets of rules for accounting. One is called accounting and one is called taxes. So we have financial accounting and taxes. Financial accounting are the rules that follow generally accepted accounting principle. Taxes follow the rules of the Internal Revenue Service, Internal Revenue Code, the government. So here's what we need to understand, and this is basically going back to accounting. And this is basically advanced accounting, but we have to get an idea about the income tax, because oftentimes income tax could be one of the largest expense for a company. If you notice here, income tax expense is as large as the depreciation expense. That's substantial, and in some companies it's one of the largest expense. For example, my company, my income tax expense is my largest expense. So what we need to know is the way you tax certain items or the way you deduct expense certain items differ between the two. And the difference occur because accounting rules, which is GAAP rules, are different than the IRS. I will give you an example. There's many examples, but I'll give you an example. Let's assume the company was charged a penalty of some sort. They were charged a penalty. Well, let's make it simple. Let's assume we have a driver, and that driver was speeding in their truck, and they got a fine for $500. So how would we deal with this $500? Fine, penalty for $500. From an accounting perspective, we say the $500 is an expense, and it gets listed with selling, general, and administrative. Most likely it's selling. We said it's the driver. They were delivering something, and they got a speeding ticket, a violation. Okay, fine. From a tax perspective, we cannot deduct a penalty or a fine. Simply put, we cannot deduct a penalty or a fine. Well, what's that going to do? It's going to create a difference, and that difference is permanent. Okay, so this is an example of it, where something is deducted for financial accounting because the IRS don't want you to be able to deduct fines and penalties. For financial accounting, you can do whatever you want to. Let's look at another example, depreciation. We have many types of depreciation method. For example, for financial accounting depreciation, we could have took $5,000 in depreciation based on accounting rules. For tax purposes, we were able to take $7,000 of depreciation for the same asset. Why can we take $5,000 for financial and $7,000 for taxes? Because we follow different rules. For taxes, we have to follow something called MAKERS, modified accelerated basis. For financial accounting, basically, we might be using the straight line, a different method. Because of these differences, how much we report for tax is different for how much we report for GAAP. There's a difference between the two. Now, let me give you another example. Let's look at municipal bonds. If the company owns municipal bond, and let's assume we received $10,000 of income for municipal bond. As far as the financial accounting, we received $10,000 of income. As far as taxes, that $10,000 is not taxable because municipal bonds are tax-free. So I just want you to see that we have two sets of books, one for taxes and one for financial accounting. What you are looking at here is financial accounting. So when you see this number here, we have to pay taxes $121,000. That doesn't mean we have to pay that much. This is the financial accounting income tax. What determines our tax is how much do we have to send to the IRS. That's called taxable income, which is prepared on the taxes. So there will be a difference. For example, on taxes, we might only have to pay 100, or we might have to pay 140. It will differ from the 121.8. So what you're seeing here, just an accounting number. And why is there a difference? I just showed you certain items, certain revenues, and certain expenses are treated differently. It means the IRS treat them differently than financial accounting. As a result, the company might report one amount of income for financial reporting, for example, municipal bond, and report a different amount for tax purposes. Maybe nothing, maybe less. Also, that deals with when you have long-term contract. The way we account for long-term contract, it's different between tax and IRS or tax or taxable income. Current taxes versus deferred taxes. So this income tax expense, you have to understand this income tax expense is composed of current taxes plus or minus deferred taxes, depending whether we are deferring taxes or we are deferring a liability. So income tax expense would have two parts. Current taxes, the portion actually paid to the government. This is one part of it, and that could be 100 million and the difference 21.8 is the deferred, or it could be paying 140 and the deferred taxes is going down, and deferred taxes that will be paid in the future due to the temporary difference that we have to pay down the road, or deferred taxes that do not represent a current tax payment, which is So let's talk about deferred tax liability. Deferred tax liability occur when the taxable income today is lower than the accounting income. So let me write it down. Taxable income is lower than accounting. When we say accounting, means financial. So this is financial income and this is IRS taxable income. So we would have a deferred tax liability when your taxable income is lower. So the company pay less taxes today but more in the future. Now, how would that happen? This would happen, let's go back to depreciation. For depreciation, you might be taking $7,000 of depreciation but $5,000 for accounting. What does that mean? It means you are taking $2,000 more of depreciation now, which is you enjoyed your tax savings now. In the future, you will have less basis. You will have less of the asset to depreciate. Therefore, in the future, you will have a higher tax liability. So for example, if let's assume the case is 2,000, what you do is you multiply this by 21%. And if you multiply, let's do the math. If you multiply 2,000, I'm gonna have to show you the math, times 0.21, you will have $420 of something we call deferred tax liability. It means you are responsible for that in the future. And under certain circumstances, the opposite will happen. When the opposite happen, it means what? Let's do the opposite. Let's assume, and this could happen, you have depreciation right now 5,000 and financial accounting 7. It means you in the future you're going to have extra 2,000 that you have not depreciated, and that will create a deferred taxed asset of 2,000 times 21%. It's equal to 420. It means you are going to have more tax savings in the future in the amount of 420. So you could have a deferred tax asset, deferred tax liability. So this liability appears on the balance sheet because it represents a tax that must be equally paid. However, from a cash flow perspective, deferred taxes do not represent a current cash outflow. So what you need to understand, the number that you see on the financial accounting is not the same number that you pay. And why are we talking about all of this? To remind you that accounting income is different than cash flow. Accounting income is different than cash flow. We talked about depreciation. We talked about taxes. Are these the only two items? Absolutely not. We have amortization. We have bad debt. We have warranties. There's so many other different items. But the point is to start to understand this concept. That when we say cash flow, we're not talking about accounting income. Totally two separate things. In accounting income and cash flow can differ significantly. So a company might report accounting loss but positive cash flow. You could report a loss, but from a cash flow you could have a positive cash flow, or you could be reporting high net income but weak or negative cash flow. This could happen as well. Why would that happen? Because there's a difference between the income statement that you are preparing for financial accounting versus your taxes that you have to follow the IRS, because we have what's called non-cash item. Just quick example. Let's assume the company reported accounting net loss of $2 billion. However, it also reported positive cash flow of $363 million. The difference between those two numbers, the difference between accounting income and cash flow, was over $2 billion. This demonstrates why analysts examine cash flow statement in addition to the income statement. Are we going to cover the cash flow statement? Absolutely. Can this really happen in the real world? And the answer is yes. If you Google or find the 2019 famous case of Deutsche Bank, where the difference between their income statement and cash flow amounted approximately to $2 billion or 2 billion euros, and that has to do with the deferred tax asset for its US operation. So that could happen in the real world, and that's why we want to emphasize it separately. But we would look at the cash flow statement in the next session to show you exactly how they differ and for what purpose. Let's take a look at this multiple choice question from farhatlectures.com. Which of the following item would create a deferred tax liability? It means we are responsible for more taxes down the road. So the taxes now is different than financial accounting. What we're paying and what we are reporting are two different things. Is it because interest income from municipal bond? Yeah. Now you have to go back to your financial accounting and understand each item. what did we say about municipal bond? Municipal bonds are never taxable. Therefore, they don't create a future tax liability. They're never taxable. A is out. Depreciation use an accelerated tax method and straight line for reporting. So what are we saying here is this. We have financial accounting and we have taxes. For financial accounting, we are using the straight line. For taxes, we are using the accelerated method called makers. Yes, this will create a deferred tax liability. Why? Because you are taking more taxes now, more deduction now. In the future, you'll be responsible for more taxes because you are taking your deduction now. So this will create what we call a deferred tax liability. Therefore, what you pay to the government, so even if you reported 120 million in taxes, you might only pay for now 100 million. Why? Because you have a deferred tax liability. In the future, you'll have to pay this amount, but it's in the future. And that's why we have to report it as deferred tax liabilities. Fines and penalties not deductible. They're already telling you they're not deductible. They will never create a deferred tax liability. Meals and entertainment partially disallowed for tax purposes. Again, A is revenue that's never taxable. C, expense that's never deductible. D, expense that's never taxable. So basically the same thing. So the correct answer is B, depreciation, that you are taking more now and less later. As a result, you will create a liability for the future because you have a more of a tax bill. That's why you have to show your deferred tax liability. And also, you have to understand there's a difference between what you pay in taxes, which is the actual tax bill, and what you report for GAAP. Could be two different things. Now, if you are using Farhat lectures, you could use AI to explain the topic for you if you'd like. Deferred tax liability, explain the correct and incorrect answer more in depth, or better, create a similar MCQ about this topic to help you understand this concept better. So what are we going to do next? We're going to cover the statement of cash flow because that's an important item because it feeds into what we are talking about here, the difference between tax and financial accounting. Whether you are in accounting, finance, CMA, CPA, the best investment you can make is invest in yourself. Don't shortchange yourself. Go to Farhat lectures, look at additional resources, additional lectures, AI tools, quizzes, exercises. Invest in yourself, and God bless.